until the end because we have a film that has a little bit of a complicated story.
Have you been there?
No.
It's fine.
There's always time to start.
Our associate producer is here. Taika Waititi.
Yes, he's sleeping.
Sleeping on the job.
I swear, like Taika tries to make an appearance every video, no matter where we film it, no matter when we film it.
Good night, little baby. We'll leave him alone.
Yes.
This next film is celebrating its 5th anniversary. It's streaming now on Netflix. It's been streaming since 2016.
It didn't have a release on DVD or Blu-ray at home till this past February, and it actually was finished in 2014. There's a crazy story about this film.
Drum roll, please.
One of my favorite animated films ever made, The Little Prince, based off of Le Petit Prince.
Le Petit Prince?
Yes. This movie, so I just want to start off with why we had to dive further with this film.
It's an oddity.
Yes, I'd say it was 2000, it must have been 2015, 2014.
Yes.
I would see trailers for this movie almost every time I went to the theater.
Finally, it was coming out.
Yes, the trailer looked phenomenal. Like, I was like, I can't wait, I have to see this, I have to see this, and it was like in theaters, blah, 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 next, whatever.
A great cinematic release coming
Yes.
out.
Exactly. The cast, it has Jeff Bridges, it has Rachel McAdams, it has James Franco, it has
Go crazy for this cast.
yes, the guy that always hosts the Golden Globes,
Ricky Gervais.
Yes, Ricky Gervais.
Great voice actors. They're dynamic kind of actors that can do both.
Yes, Marion Cotillard, and even Paul Rudd. So it's another Paul Rudd movie.
Ruddy boy.
Yes, and he's like Lois Lane in Justice League. He's the key.
Why did you say that name? Yeah, Paul Rudd is the key.
Paul Rudd's the key. So long story short, I keep seeing this trailer over and over and over. Mind-blowing cast.
This is true.
Then time goes on. Time goes on.
Waiting.
Never see it in theaters.
Waiting.
And I know back then I probably would have been more on top of like seeing the release date and being more on top of that. It just always occurred to me that movie was never released in theaters. And then I'm on Netflix one day and I see The Little Prince and I'm like, wait, what? Was it not in theaters? Because I would have seen that like opening weekend.
All of a sudden it shows up on Netflix and you're like, well, thanks for telling us.
Right, so I watch it, I bawl my eyes out multiple times in the best way possible. It's one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're a huge fan of this story.
Huge fan.
So she told me about it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that movie, kinda. And little did I know it was a masterpiece.
Masterpiece! And I think the reason it's a masterpiece too is it's not just a rendition of the book. What they do is the book is the story within the film.
Yeah, it kind of frames it.
Yes, there's a whole other modern story going on with this little girl and her mom who's really on her. She's a divorced parent, so she really wants to provide the best life for her daughter by trying to get her into this prep school.
Yeah, it's a contemporary film.
Yes, yeah, and the schoolgirl doesn't have any friends, but then she meets the neighbor next door who's this kooky old man, and it's Jeff Bridges.
The dude!
Yeah, and he has this story of the Little Prince that it's his story. That's
adorable.
The aviator, I believe, is who he plays.
Oh, right. The airplane dude.
Yeah, so he had met the Little Prince and this is his story.
Yeah,
all the planets and everything, acting
yes.
like it really happened.
It's kind of self-referential to its own story.
Yes, and every time they show scenes from The Little Prince itself, it's this like paper mache claymation. It's not claymation, but it's like a clay paper thing that they do.
Right, kind of like
stop
Coraline.
animation. Yeah.
It's a sort of stop animation thing.
Yes.
Paper mache.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a coat. This film is scandalous.
It is scandalous.
It's been since 2014
yes.
that it's been literally done
yes.
in the can in September 2014.
Yes. And
about to go off on this thing.
And what's even crazier is they canceled its theatrical release the week before it was supposed to be in theaters.
Yes, she was crying again.
I wasn't crying again because I didn't know, but at the time. A week before it was released in theaters, they canceled this movie.
Right.
That doesn't happen, especially with that budget, that cast. It did have an international release, so it did premiere in other countries.
Yes, Paramount just dropped it
Cut
out
it.
of nowhere.
And the director had just become a huge deal because his film before this was Kung Fu.
She can't speak anymore. Kung Fu Panda, please. Sorry, subs. Sorry out there to all our subscribers. We're gonna have to censor this episode.
Kung Fu Panda, which clearly is a big deal. That movie got rave reviews.
It's classic.
Everyone loves it. Made so much money. So then this director makes The Little Prince, and they're like, oh no, we're not doing an American release. So we dove deeper, and we saw that apparently the French film company that they were the French film company they were involved with that helped produce the film owed them something like $20 million
for marketing.
So they decided not to release it, but I still don't think that's correct.
There's a conspiracy going on, we're pretty sure.
Weird. This is one of the biggest conspiracies ever. I have a personal belief that I find that the film is makes American parents look bad.
Yeah, she told me about this theory she had, and this is made by a French team, so maybe the U.S. market wouldn't be so keen on this idea.
Yeah, and you know, and dealing with like French culture, like I remember in all my French classes, they would say that college was free. It was like not a stressful thing to get into, things like that. And compared to the American culture where you have SAT prep courses that start when you're like 12. So I think that is one of the points of the film. Rachel McAdams plays a mother who doesn't have bad intentions. She's just really hard on her daughter because of she's went through a divorce. She wants her daughter to get a great job and not be just have a good life, and that's understandable. But she's so micromanaged, this kid, that it's like, oh my god, the stress she's under is intense. That's one theory I have, because again, it is a kids movie. If they did that with an adult film, I think adults can handle that. But when they see it's a children's film, kind of discussing that their parents are doing the wrong thing,
it's too real. It's a contemporary tale.
Yeah, that might be the reason. But it's really a shame that this movie didn't get a theatrical release. I'm sure it would have been spectacular.
It eventually got a Netflix release.
It did.
It was saved by the grace of Netflix.
It was saved by Netflix, and thank you, Netflix, because everyone should watch this. I can't wait to show my kids this one day. Hans Zimmer collaborated with a bunch of French artists, and it's an incredible score.
He's my boy.
Beautiful soundtrack. I mean, everything about this film is just great. People do have some issues with the third act. I don't necessarily think there's an issue in my opinion, but I can see where they're coming from. They think it kind of distracts from the main plot of the film. But I think you need a lot of the aspects in the third act to really put everything together at the end.
This film is quite a ride. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
I knew I would like a literary adaptation, but sometimes they don't work out.
Yes.
Thankfully, this was a winner.
And also, if you think about it too, the book itself is really teaching children how to deal with death and mourning death. And
important themes.
It is important, and that also might have been a reason why they didn't want to do a theatrical release. Like maybe they felt like American children couldn't handle it. I don't know. The French babies come out with the cigarettes and a beret, and they're like, "Oh, what's his life?"
Mama, I only do mature things.
Yes.
We're immature here in the U.S.
Yeah, like literally, their children's most popular book is about death. So, but
Ring Around the Rosie, Pocket Full of Posy.
Yeah, exactly.
Parker Posey.
So yeah, I do think it's beautiful. I think children should watch this. I think it does discuss a lot of important topics so you can have conversations about with your child at home. Obviously, we're not parents, so we're not saying what you should do as a parent, but I think most parents would be totally in love with this movie to begin with.
It's a family-friendly Netflix.
It is.
Magnifique.
It is. It's really fun and really important. don't think you need to have kids to watch this movie. Like literally, this is like
it's cerebral.
It's so cerebral as a film.
Yeah, very mature.
Filled with such poetry, I'd say. And
I agree.
The writing of that book was so great to begin with, so it's really nice.
Yeah,
how they did everything.
Le Petit Prince. Everyone probably read it in high school or grew up with it.
Yeah.
It's a French classic that we can't get enough of. I remember an early rendition of it was with the famed dancer.
Oh, Bob Fosse.
Fosse is the man.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson stole every single dance move from that man. Rant end.
Well, and I'm so glad you brought this up because there's a movie of The Little Prince from the 80s?
Yeah.
Or was it the 70s?
Yeah, probably a movie from the 70s.
Okay, so it's from the 70s, and I've never seen it, but he showed me a clip. And now, keep in mind, I'm a huge Bob Fosse fan. I think I love everything he's ever done.
Bob Fosse.
But there's a song that Bob Fosse plays the snake, and Bob Fosse is singing a song called Snake in the Grass, but he's in the desert. And like, yeah, it does take place in the desert, so that's okay, but they shouldn't have written a song called Snake in the Grass. That's all I'm saying.
Awkward.
It's like,
snake in the grass, you know what that means.
I know, and I get it, but like the whole time, it's just so much emphasis on the snake in the grass. In the desert, so.
Yeah, we digressed.
Yes.
We got a little off track there. Sorry about that.
Yes. And if you have any theories or conspiracy theories regarding the Little Prince's theatrical release that never existed, please let us know. I'm still trying to find out I'm still trying to dig into this. So please, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
It would make us feel so much better.
Yes.
It's always engaging to have a conversation with people about it.
Yes, we love interacting with everyone about films.
Please make sure to give a like, a subscribe, hit that bell. Please help us find out this mystery.
Yes, it is the mystery of all time, so.
It is the mystery of the Little Prince.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It means so much to us. It really is awesome to see this channel grow. So, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you so much.
Yes, you guys rock.
Yes, you rock.
And me, I'm Max Applegate. Thank you for having me on the show. All right. Oh no, this is dumb. We're so nerdy. We are way too nerdy for this. Way too nerdy for this.
We're trying to be cool, but it's not working out.
We did it.
We did it. Yes. Woo woo. Beep 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 beep.
Oh.
Perfect. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Stuff sucks.